Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Asad, and welcome back to this series of Python for Everyone. We have covered quite a bit now in Python. Today, we will be covering something called files in Python. I mean, what's the point of Python if you can't even read a file, write a file, or add something to a file? It will be just bunch of calculations, right? Well, Python gives you flexibility to actually do a lot with files as well. We'll cover just the basic of how to simply write or add or append something to your text file. The basic syntax of opening a file is with open, write the name of the file. Here I have a file already defined called info.txt. As you have to now define a name that you would use to open that file. I can call it information, have a semicolon, and then you can do whatever with that file. In this case, let's start by reading it off. We can call information dot read, and let's print it out. Let's print this information out. So what I'm doing is I'm using a with open function, read this particular file and name it as information. The next thing I'm doing is that information, read it. So whatever file it is called info.txt, read it. If I print that, this is the function I get. It says, let me make it bigger. This is a file in Python with some code. This is what is written in that text file. Okay, it's good, I can read it, but I can do more things with that as well, such as if I say don't read the whole file but read me a line, it will actually read just first line. If you want to do the second line, you would have to actually copy that statement again and it will read the second line, and so on and so forth. So this is a file in, and the second line Python. But if you want to read all the lines together, you can just say read lines instead of read line. And if you run that function, it brings you a list of each line separately. This is a file in, a new line, Python, a new line, with some, a new line, and then code. So this is simply how you can read a file. If you want to actually, let's say, I don't know, add something to the file, maybe you want to say, I want the file to be as it is, but I want to append something. Now we have covered what append is, right? It just keeps the list and adds something towards the end. So as the append start with A, all I have to do is after the file name, add comma and add A. This will say append, right? So what I can do now is I can write the name of the file I'm working with, dot write. Now this time I'm gonna write some code. Let's say I write with open file name as name, just some information, right? I just wrote it just randomly. You can write anything, to be honest. Now let's see if I read it again, what happens with open. Remember, when I am saying as append, it opens the thing as a file that you can append something. So I have to restart it by not writing append, but just read new info, and then say, let's say new info dot read, and print this information. So let me just break it down for you so it's not too much of information. What I'm doing is I'm using open to open this file called info.txt and opening it in append mode, which is adding something towards the end. Remember previously it was this is a file in Python with some code. So I'm opening it as the name information, and then within that information I'm writing something. And what I'm writing with open file as name. And to see my results, I'm doing the again same thing which I did in the previous one with open this file as, now give it a new name if you like, and then just say read it. So let's say if I run that code, you will notice that this is a file in Python with sum is the previous text file, and without even opening my file, I wrote a new line here. Did you see here? What you could do is use another one called a write function. The difference between append and write is the append adds something towards the end. If you notice here, if I use the write mode, all I have to change the A is to W, and now if I run it, you will notice it removed everything existing in the previous file and wrote something completely new, whatever you provided here. So that's the difference between append and write. So this is the basic of how you can open or write or append something into a file using pure Python. Go on, try yourself. Create a file in the folder that you're working on. In this case, I was working in a folder. I created a text file. Now use this function to open that file and write your name in it. Well done to those who managed to do it. For those who could not manage to do it, please place your comment down so we can discuss it and debug your code together. Till then, take care, keep practicing, and goodbye.